Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to a completely different video today that I have been kind of stuck on whether I'm going to do this or not. So usually I make gameplay videos and all of that, but I think this video is really important because it's so surreal. It is really surreal, and it literally happened to me the other day. Now, for those guys that have been following the channel for a long time, you guys understand that I have a fear of the ocean, fear of water, etc. Just fear of things in water. Now, this all comes from a story that happened years and years ago when I was younger, which terrified me of going into any kind of river, the ocean, anything like that. So let me explain exactly what happened. When I was younger, back in 2005, there was a story of a boy who was chucked off a bridge somewhere nearby, and he ended up dying in the river. Now, when I first heard the story, the reason that I heard was that apparently he was thrown into the river by another guy, and he got tangled in like the seaweed or the reeds inside the bottom, and he ended up drowning. So I was terrified of the river and all of those, like, what is it? I don't even know what to call it, for lack of a better word. I'm going to call it like river reeds, like the things coming up, like the river seaweeds. So I was terrified of that because I thought that it was really easy to get entangled in this. And I was just petrified of this whole idea of being in rivers. So for years, I have never been in rivers. My friends used to jump in the rivers nearby. They used to jump off bridges. I would sometimes do it, but I would only jump in areas that had like nothing beneath it. Like you couldn't see the reeds or anything beneath it. It would terrify me. And every time I went into rivers and I was swimming through it and I had to go through a deep area that I couldn't touch the bottom of and there was reeds there, it would terrify the hell out of me. It would make my heart race. It would make me breathe heavy. It was horrible. It was horrible. And it all derives from this one story. Now, it was like, it wasn't anything that ever kind of occurred to me that it was this story in particular that made me have a fear of the water. I thought it was just I had a general phobia of it. But the more I kind of grew up and the more I kind of knew about how much I thought about this incident, it became more apparent that this was it. So anyways, let's get to the main part of it. For about, what is it now? 2018, so that would be 13 years, I've had this increasing phobia with the water. And I know that it doesn't make sense to me because it's anything that's underwater. It can be anything underwater. Anything that's underwater terrifies me because I guess for me, I feel like that thing that's underwater that's too deep to get to could hold you down, could keep you down there. You know, it's like that. But anyways, I was in my hairdresser's I go to often to get my hair cut, and I was sitting there for ages because I was getting this like new skin fade. I'm not showing off the hairstyle, by the way, but I do like it. I was getting the skin fade. Takes about 40 minutes to do because it's like really intricate. Anyways, I was just sat there just talking to the guy who was doing my hair. He's a really cool friend of mine. Really cool. We're talking about longboarding, all kinds of random jazz. But anyways, whilst we're there, there's a lady working next to me and another person. And a guy walks in, and apparently they were having like a kind of an argument because the bloke had come in beforehand and was saying abusive stuff to clients and was just completely rowdy and drunk and everything. And apparently he was just an absolute wanker of a person. So yeah, apparently they just kicked him out. But I wasn't listening because I don't tend to eavesdrop on people. But the guy next to me was saying about how much he was a knob, and I was saying, oh, I wasn't listening what was going on. He said, oh, well, this guy came in, abused clients, all of that things. And he just said to me, he goes, he's just an asshole. He's about 30 years old. He hasn't done anything with his life. He's been to jail. He's done all of these things. And I was like, oh, like, why did he go to jail? And literally, I like froze up inside because he goes, oh, years ago, he threw a bridge. Fucking hell. Years ago, he threw a kid off a bridge into a river and he ended up dying. And the river, I asked him which river it was, and it was Sturminster Newton, which is fairly close to me. That was the river in the story. So I was about a meter away from the guy who gave me a phobia of rivers. And that still blows me away that 13 years later, I end up seeing the guy who gave me this phobia. And it freaks me the fuck out. It freaks me the fuck out. Because I'm literally freaking here right now, thinking about how mental this is. Because this phobia has stopped me from doing so many things. It has stopped me from enjoying so many things in my life. And it's fucking crazy that this guy was literally just there. I didn't see him at all. I literally didn't look over. I was literally just looking straight at the mirror, just getting everything going on back here. And the guy was there. The guy who gave me this fear. And it blows my absolute freaking mind to think that this guy, this absolute douche, was there. You know? How much different it would have been if this guy hadn't done what he did all them years ago. And how it affected me. And I spoke to the guy more, and I looked into the story more, and it turns out the guy... This is how weird and messed up it was. When I was told it, he was entangled in the reeds, so he couldn't go up. And the reeds are basically this. Like, these are the reeds I'm talking about. Like, everything here. These terrify the shit out of me. I can't deal with that. It's horrible. So all these reeds, I just can't get over. Like, in my head, I don't want to go in them. I don't want to go through them. I don't want to do anything with them. Whenever I look down in rivers, they terrify me. They really, really terrify me. And I guess that's why I can't go into reef beds, because if I go through reefs and there's seaweed sticking up, even now I feel myself panicking just thinking about a time I went surfing over a reef and there was seaweed coming up, and it literally makes my heart drop because of how petrified I am of being caught in this. But the guy said to me, he was cutting my hair, he said that apparently the kid was thrown off in rollerblades. For some fucking reason. He was in rollerblades near a bridge and was chucked off there, and hence the reason he couldn't swim back up. But then I looked into the story, and apparently he was thrown off the bridge and he just couldn't swim. So, if someone had got their absolute story sorted in the first place, man wouldn't be scared. I would be able to understand if you can't swim and you fall into a river and you drown. That's the reason. Not the fucking reeds. The reeds have been changing my life for such a long time that maybe I should just jump into a river with reeds to understand that they won't entangle me. Maybe that's what I need to do to overcome this. It for some reason, it's stuck with me for these last few days that I can't get out of my mind. It literally stays in my head every single day that I'm thinking about it. That maybe this is now going to help me overcome my phobia of the water, because I won't be as terrified around river fucking seaweed, you know, because that's the thing holding me back. That is the main reason I can't go into rivers. I get terrified when I go, like, I'm fine in water, you know, I'm fine when I'm surfing because it's a sandy bay, you know, there's nothing there, you know, I'm fine with however fucking deep it wants to be, I guess, but anything that's under there that looks like it can trap you, terrifying. I think that's literally what it comes down to. But yeah, this has literally been a small story I wanted to share with you guys. I think this might be a good start to overcoming my phobia, because it's just blown my mind how I've literally met the guy who has given me this fear. It's unreal. It blows me away, and it's crazy because I've never lived in this area before. Well, till a couple of years ago, I didn't know the guy. I didn't know anything about it, and just one moment, he's there. He's literally there, and it is mad. So I'm hoping this will help me overcome my phobia. Anyways, this is a completely different video, but I had to get this off my chest because I felt like it was so surreal, and people that have followed the channel for a long time understand my fear of the water, and this probably will give you a better understanding as to why I'm so scared. So literally, it comes down to long grass in rivers. That's literally my phobia. It's literally anything that can entangle me in a river is terrifying. You know, that's what it all comes down to. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Completely different video. I'm going to be sticking with the gameplay as of tomorrow, but I wanted to make a video today because I want to try and get back to the daily uploads, try and keep them coming out. And I thought this was really interesting. I thought this might actually help some people with their phobias. That, you know, I've overcome phobias before because through education. You know, I've educated myself on bees and stuff. I used to have a horrible fear of bees. But I overcame that because I educated myself on that. And I'm hoping the education of this phobia is now going to overcome that as well, which I really hope it does, because there's so many things I'd love to be able to do. There's things that I couldn't do in Thailand because of this phobia. And I just hope that this will now be a turning point now that I've understood more about it. But anyways, I will cut this here now. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments beneath, whether this might help me or might not help me. I'm gonna actually leave a link to the actual story in the description beneath. I don't know if you guys can access it over the world, but it's like an English news platform, I guess. This isn't promotion for them. I genuinely hate the news anyways because of how negative it is. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there so you guys can look at it. And I will see every single one of you guys in the next one.